right, today we are cleaning, and I'm going to show you how to clean a black car with this Model 3. And as you can see, it's pretty dirty. It's not thrashed, but it's definitely a black car that needs to be cleaned. Bird poop, there's bird poop right here. It's just really dirty. So I'm gonna show you how to clean a black car without scratching it and without getting any streaks. Now, a couple things if you do have a black car, kind of as we get set up. One thing I would really highly recommend if you have a black car, you're gonna own a black car, is to get deionized water. So this is my kind of industrial car wash setup, I guess. I rent my deionized water tanks from a local company. That's how I do it because it's very inexpensive. It's ugly, it's not cute, and I'll do a whole setup on this one at some point, but it's imperative that you have deionized water. It's just gonna make your life so much easier, especially if you have a black car. So another thing that you're gonna want is the Super Soaper. So this is my soap that I developed, and it works phenomenal for black cars because it's going to clean the surface for you so that you don't have to actually wipe anything in. You don't have to do a contact wash. Every time you touch the car, you run the risk of scratching it, and so we don't want to scratch it, right? Another thing is get a foam cannon. If you have a black car, you're gonna need the proper tools to wash a car. Now, obviously, if you have a white car, any other car color besides black, all these same rules apply. But especially with black, you're gonna want to invest in some equipment that is gonna make your life a lot easier. And by the way, I'm doing this outside and it is hot today. It is currently 77 degrees, feels like 83, but to me it feels like 183, and we're doing it in direct sun. So for me, deionized water is imperative. I mix 4 ounces of soap into the foam cannon, filled the rest with water, and I did not pre-rinse the car to cool it down at all. It's not super hot. We're still early in the morning. It's only 9 o'clock. And so I'm going to do a dry foam. My method is foam, rinse, and then we dry. I will use the whole foam cannon for that. I'm going to start on the shaded side and work my way to the sunny side. If you don't have deionized water, you could still follow this whole plan. You're just going to need to work a little bit quicker, but still, starting in the shady side, and I'm just going to foam the whole entire car. Come on. I just got the tanks exchanged, and so there's a little air in the line. There we go. Come on. There we go. So the reason why I'm starting on the shaded side is I want to give the foam as much time to dwell and work at the dirt as possible. And that's the whole goal when we're talking about washing a black car, is you don't want to touch it, or you want to touch it as least amount of times is possible. So in letting the foam and the soap do the work, that's why I recommended a foam cannon, deionized water. We want to let the chemicals do the work. So this step in a lot of other countries would be called the pre-soak, the pre-foam, the pre, right? So again, only used about a half a foam cannon, which is exactly where you want to be at. You want to save that other half for the second half. What I don't have is I don't have buckets going. I don't have 2 buckets or 3 buckets or any buckets at all. I don't think you need buckets. I think that's definitely an outdated method. of washing a car, and again, isn't necessarily the safest or most effective. If you do need to do a contact wash after this rinse, I would just get one of my Orange Microfiber Towels. I like microfiber towels as a wash mitt because you can constantly flip to a new side, and it's super, super safe. You're not picking up any dirt. If we think about the traditional ways of washing a car, you would pre-rinse it with just a steady stream of water, and then you would go into your bucket and have a grit guard, and you'd have all this extra equipment, which you still can do if you want to, but it's not necessary. And again, I'm giving this about 3 to 5 minutes. It is a little bit warmer today, but I really want the foam to dwell on the car and then slightly start to run off. You don't have to worry about any streaking with the Super Soaper, but I don't want it to fully dry on the surface either. So I'm just gonna kind of monitor that. This is the initial foam. So this is the pre-soak. This is trying to get the bulk stuff, trying to get that bird poop like we saw on the other side. Really just trying to get the bulk of the dirt off the car. If your car is not super dirty, you may not even have to do a second foam, especially if you're using the Super Soaper. But I like to do the second foam just in case. And I'll show you how clean the surface actually is after just the pre-soak with the Super Soaper. And the Super Soaper is a pH neutral soap once it's on the surface. It's a little bit higher pH in the bottle, but once it's diluted down with the water, it is pH neutral when it's hitting the surface. So that's going to be safe for ceramic coatings, waxes, or any paint protection that you may have on the car. It's not going to degrade any of that stuff. You don't need, if you want a little bit of a higher pH, you could just add a little bit more soap. You could do it that way, but you really don't need a high, low pH, but you need something a little bit stronger than just traditional pH neutral soaps. So this is drying to the point where I want to rinse it now. And a quick note, you can see that this car has zero protection on it. That is going to be something that you want to add after a car wash, is add some protection, especially if you have a black car, because it'll make it that much easier to clean up on the next go. You won't have to scrub it all, but you want some sort of paint protection on the car. And this is where having deionized water, especially if you have a black car, is just imperative. On a hot day, you're working out in direct sun. I know it's not ideal, but it's also not ideal for a lot of people to be able to wash their car in the early morning or late at night. So especially having a black car, any color car, deionized water is gonna make your life so much easier, and it's not that expensive at all. It's really not. But if you have a black car, even if you don't have a pressure washer, get deionized water. I'm telling you, you have to. Bird poop's completely gone. Okay, this is the part of the process where you have a couple different options depending upon your preferences and what you like. If you do want to do a contact wash, this is what I would do, is I would take a clean, new microfiber towel. I sell these on my website. And again, deionized water, I talk about being imperative. I don't have any affiliate to any deionized water company. I use a DI rinse tank, that was fine. Adams Polishes has a DI tank. Griot's Garage has a DI water tank that you can change out your own resins you could buy. Again, I rent mine from a local company. It's called Pacific Industrial Water Systems. I rent them and they come exchange the tanks for me like they did yesterday. But even if you don't have a pressure washer, I'm telling you, deionized water is going to be a lifesaver. I know a lot of people like the CR Spotless. I think you just need to change out the resin really often in those, and it can be really, really expensive to do that. But okay, so we are, let me show you just how clean the car actually is. Again, a non-ceramic coated car, and the car with the pre-soak. This is what I'm saying. Most people, you could be done here, but look at that. There is nothing left on this car at all. And so that's what I'm saying. With the Super Soaper, you really save a ton of time, save a ton of money, and don't have to actually touch the car to wash it. So you're going to save yourself a lot of trouble there. So here's a couple different options. If you want to do a contact wash and you don't want to use a bucket, I tuck a microfiber towel underneath the front windshield wiper, because now I'm going to foam the car for the second time, the second rinse. One area that, I don't know, for whatever reason, tends to need to be touched or a contact wash are the front windshield. So I'm tucking a towel because I'm going to do the front windshield. But the paint work doesn't really need ever to be touched. I mean, it's perfectly clean. There's no scratches, there's no swirls. So if you do want a bucket, you could have your bucket, and as you saw, the paint is, call it 95% clean. And so it's going to be much, much safer when you go and do a contact wash. If you're the old school and you used to pre-rinse your car, if you just take that same step and do a pre-soak, and if you don't have a foam cannon, you can use a pump sprayer to pre-soak. But I'm telling you, if you pre-soak with the Super Soaper, your chances of scratching your car just went down dramatically. So this is the point where I would still foam the car again if you're going to use a bucket, 2-bucket method or whatever. I'm just going to foam the car a second time with my microfiber towel. And for those of you that think, man, this is actually more work, it's really not. I'm not using a crazy amount of water at all. That's all the water I've used for foaming in the pre-soak and rinsing it. It hasn't even made its way anywhere. The car is really, really clean now, and I haven't even broken a sweat, and it's 90 degrees outside. So I haven't even broken a sweat because all I've had to do is let the soap do the work and walk around the car as I normally would. So you want to make sure your towel gets a lot of soap on it. And I still have a quarter of the foam cannon left, so you could go around, but to me that's plenty of foam. So I'm actually going to save the rest of this soap for the next wash. So this is where you could go in with your 2-bucket method, and you could at least know now that other than instead of a pre-rinse that does absolutely nothing to a car, you've got the vast majority of the dirt off the car. So now take one side of my microfiber towel, and because you're really not going to scratch glass, you could go around the whole entire car, including the sunroof, without flipping the towel if you wanted to. And again, we got 90 to 95% of the dirt off the whole entire car anyway with that first rinse. There's nothing on this towel. So I'm gonna do a contact wash on all the glass, just because for some reason it seems that stuff really gets stuck to the glass and doesn't want to come off. But now, if you don't have a 2-bucket method, this is where you could also do a contact wash. I would just flip to a fresh side that you haven't used yet of the towel. This is why I like microfiber towels. And I use no pressure. No pressure. I'm just doing a light contact to remove any of that stuff that's really stuck on the car, especially with a car that has no paint protection on it, like this one. There's inevitably going to be stuff that's stuck on the car, okay? And then once you get to there, again, there's nothing on it, so we're totally safe. I'm gonna flip to another side, and then I can continue to go down the car. And I usually use body lines on the car to tell me where I'm at. So I'll go down the whole side like that. And then if you need to, you can flip again to a fresh side. And then you could do the lower sections of the car. Like that, okay? So I did this side. I guess I wasn't gonna do a contact on the whole car at all, but I guess I will, again, using the decorated body line, and I'm going just under this body line. But again, no streaking. Don't have to worry about any of that. And I'm not going to flip to a fresh side because I know it's clean over here. But I will switch to a fresh side here. And again, 1 microfiber towel, do a whole contact wash. And if you don't have deionized water, you're just gonna have to move a lot quicker. Okay, that. Flip to this fresh side and do the front bumper. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. See if I can show you guys how clean this towel actually is. So it's after a contact wash. There's a tiny bit of dirt right here. But once you go to wash this towel too, the dirt will be released. There's virtually no dirt on this on the towel. That is quite possibly the safest, most efficient way to wash the car. It's been 14 minutes, and I'm doing a video at the same time, so this is definitely real time. I'm gonna rinse. Again, no paint protection at all. So there you have it. That's how you could rinse your car. And look, I still have barely even made it to the storm drain there. I didn't fill up 2 5-gallon buckets of water. That's 10 gallons just there, plus whatever you're gonna rinse it with. So like I said, now if you have deionized water, you're good to go. If you don't have deionized water, really you're gonna have to make quick work, but a big massive drying towel like this one will make quick work of it. And because you know the surface is completely clean, you don't really need to apply any pressure to dry the car at all. You could simply just go around the car like that. And again, we already tested it, so we know there's no dirt. This is actually a part of the car wash that you could scratch the car quite a bit, just like that. As you can see, there's no streaks, there's no swirl marks, there's no nothing. Now, I would highly recommend, once you have the paint dry or dry at, so what I would definitely recommend is picking up a bottle of Toughest Shell. This is my ceramic spray coating. And what this is gonna do, what you're gonna do, a couple sprays, and you could rub it into the surface like that. And I will show you instantly what it's gonna do. Again, no streaks. One, it's gonna make your paint look amazing. We're not adding any swirl marks at all, no streaks. And let me show you the difference real quick on what it's gonna do to your paint work. Is it will make the water bead like crazy. Ideally, you wouldn't do this right away, but for video purposes, I'll show you. So it's gonna make your water bead up like crazy instead of being flat like that other side. The water's gonna bead up really well, and that is gonna prevent dirt and grime from sticking. And then when you go to complete your car wash, it's gonna make it that much easier to clean because the dirt is gonna be encapsulated by the foam, rinse off, and leave that paint protection behind. So that's what I would highly recommend too. But as you can see, I didn't dry this side at all, but we have no streaks, no nothing. The paint is perfectly clean, and this was a non-ceramic coated car, heavy metallic on this Tesla, so kudos to Tesla for that. But that is how you can clean a black car in direct sun under 20 minutes without scratching it, without creating any swirl marks, without damaging the paint in any way, shape, or fashion, and actually walk away with a very, very, very clean surface. And so, yeah, that's exactly how you could do it. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Hope it was helpful. I'll make sure to link everything below to all the products that I use and recommend so that you too can achieve this at home. This is definitely doable. Didn't even break a sweat. Definitely easy if you have the right tools, the right products, more importantly, and I will link all those below. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. See ya.